So for the past couple of videos, we've mainly been talking about building and assembling and launching normal rockets. Now, normal rockets is kind of a broad term. For example, in episode 1, we built this rocket, the Phantom Blue, and it's a normal rocket. It uses normal engines. But we also have talked about this one, the Amazon. This rocket's a lot bigger, but it still uses the main normal engines. A, B, and C. However, there is a second type of engine, a second type of rocket that uses these mini engines. And like this one is actually a quarter A, you can see, compared to the standard A engine. Now also in this mini engine size, you can get a half A, which is twice as powerful as this quarter A, and you can go all the way up to a full A engine with just this size. That's the power of this engine in this size. Now we're going to build a rocket that uses these mini engines. But before we do that, we need to clear out a space for our workspace. This is the mini rocket, the Bandito. And afterwards, we're going to talk about why you might want to build a rocket that uses mini engines instead of one that uses normal engines. So here's the finished product. This is the Bandito, all nice and finished. We just have to fix the engine, of course. It took about 30 minutes, which makes sense, even though it's evidently smaller than the Phantom Blue is. It's about the same level of difficulty and complication, has about the same amount of parts. Now, why would you build a rocket that uses smaller engines instead of one that uses standard engines? Well, one concern might be, what do you do with the rocket after you launch it? How much storage space is it going to take up? Now, size and storage is pretty relative. For example, here's a rocket that uses standard engines, and it's about the same size. Then again, here's another rocket that uses standard engines, and as you can see, it takes up a lot more space. As you can see, it takes up a lot more space. Another concern might be cost. You'd think that a rocket that uses mini engines would obviously have to cost less than one that uses standard engines. But when you actually sit back and look at the whole spectrum of building rockets, a big rocket, a smaller rocket, one that uses mini engines, it will usually cost you between $10 to $20. So the cost of a rocket isn't too big of a difference until you get into really big rockets. Now the cost of just building the rocket isn't the only cost. There's also the fact of engines. Now, standardly, a mini engine will usually come in a packet of 4, but a standard engine usually comes in a packet of 3. But the prices are still about the same. So by going with a mini rocket, you get one extra engine for the same price as a rocket that uses standard engines. There are some upsides to choosing a smaller rocket that uses mini engines, but it also comes with a couple limitations. For example, there's a much wider spectrum of rockets that use standard engines as opposed to mini engines. Not only that, but obviously because it's using a smaller engine size with a smaller fuel amount, the mini rocket won't go anywhere as high as a standard rocket. That also includes the rockets that use standard engines that are two-stage, meaning they can go up to 2,000 feet. In the end, it doesn't really matter which rocket you choose as long as you stay safe and you have fun building and launching the rocket. We hope you enjoyed this episode. In the next one, we're going to go over what you can learn from building and launching model rockets. If you look forward to that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified for when that comes out.